And welcome to the channel. In today's video, we want to discuss the solution of quadratic equations using the quadratic formula. And I've got about 4 examples that we are going to solve step by step using the quadratic formula, so that I hope by the end of the video, you will be so confident in the use of the quadratic formula. So why don't we get started right away? Right. Problem number 1 here is 2x squared plus 7x plus 3 is equal to 0. So let me write it here. It's 2x squared plus 7x plus 3 is equal to 0. Allow me to write it like this. 2, there is my x squared plus 7 multiplying my x here, and finally my 3 here in blue, and this of course is equal to 0. I haven't changed anything. All I have done is to write this one in red, this one in green, and this one in blue. What are these numbers? These are the numbers. The 2 here is multiplying our x squared. The 7 here is multiplying our x, and the 3 is a constant, right? So normally these numbers, these coefficients as they are called, so let me write it here. This is the coefficient of x squared, as you can see. The 7 here is the coefficient of x, the number that is multiplying x. And the 3 here is a constant. A constant, of course, is just any number. 17, 150, 170 million, all these are constants. So 3 is a constant, and it's not multiplying anything. 7 is multiplying our x. 2 is multiplying our x squared. Now, generally, these numbers, this red number and this green number and this blue number, they are normally assigned some symbols. This is normally given the symbol A when we are writing a general quadratic equation. Okay, so this one here, the coefficient of x, is normally given the letter B. The constant is normally given, for obvious reason, the letter C for constant, obviously. Okay, so if we had a general quadratic equation, we would write it then as A multiplies x squared plus our B, which would be multiplying our x, plus of course our C, and this is equal to 0. So now we have a general quadratic equation, one that is not written, that is not a particular one like we have 2 here and 7 there or 3 there. This one is a general one. It gives us a general shape of a quadratic equation where A would be the constant of x squared, your B would be the constant of the coefficient, of x, and C is a constant or an ordinary number. Now, let's now talk about the quadratic formula, because our purpose is to solve this equation. Of course, you may have heard of the method of factorization. You could factorize this if it's possible and find the values of x that satisfy this equation. Or you can plot your graph, and somehow, if you are very good at plotting the graph, you can find the values of x that satisfy this equation. But we want to deal with the quadratic formula. What does it say? When you have an equation like this, it says the value of x that satisfies this equation is given by x is equal to minus b. Remember, our b is the coefficient of x. Maybe let me push it a little bit this side. It might not fit there. Pardon me, I'll put it down here somewhere because I want it to fit there. So our x is given by minus b, whatever the coefficient of x here, you put it there, it's minus b plus or minus the square root of the same b again, now squared, b squared, minus 4 multiplied by a, the coefficient of x squared, multiplied again by c, the constant. All this, of course, is under the square root sign. When you have done that, you divide everything by 2 multiplied by a, which again is the coefficient of x squared. So this is the quadratic formula. Your b would be this number here, your a would be that number here, your c would be that number there. Right. Now let us see if we can plug in the numbers here in relation to this equation and find the solution. I hope you have captured this because I'm going to clear it now. Okay, so there we are. Of course, it's a video. One can always play it back, can't they? So let's clear this up and create this space to solve our equation here. Okay, so let's put in the numbers. So what is our b? B is 2. So we can now write x is equal to, b is 2. So it's minus 2 plus or minus the square root of, what is our b again? Our b is, oh, sorry. I'm capturing it wrongly. Our b is 7. I beg your pardon here. Our b is 7. So there is our 7 there. Plus or minus b squared, which is 7 times 7, which is, let's write it like that, 7 squared, minus 4 multiplied by what? By a. What is our a? Our a is 2. Multiplied again by our c. Our c is 3. So everything here is under the square root sign, and all this has to be divided by 2 multiplied by a, which is 2. So it's 2 times 2. Of course, what is left now is just to simplify. So again we go minus 7 plus or minus the square root of 7 squared is 49. Okay, minus 4 times 2 is 8 times 3 is 24. Okay, all this again divided by 2 times 2, which is 4. So let's check our calculation. 7 squared is 49. 4 times 2 is 8. 8 times 3 is 24. So what is 49 minus 24? Okay, let's do the subtraction there. So it's minus 7 plus or minus the square root of 9 minus 4, that's 5. 4 minus 2, that's 2 there. So it's square root of 25 all this over 4, which of course we know that the square root of 25 is 5. So it's minus 7 plus or minus 5 divided by 4. So what it means here, because we have this plus or minus there between the 7 and the 5, it means there are two answers. So one of the answer is, where can we put this? Let's put it here somewhere. So one of the answers is minus 7 plus 5 over 4. And the other one is minus 7 minus 5 over 4. Okay? So let's evaluate the first one. Minus 7 plus 5 is minus 3. Minus 2. So it's minus 2 over 4. So our first answer, let me write it in red. Our first answer would be minus 7 plus 5 is 2. It's minus 2 over 4. So it's minus 2 over 4, which of course is a half. And this one here is minus 7 minus 5, which is minus 12. Minus 12 divided by 4, which is minus 3. So all the answers are actually negative. Let's simplify this. This, of course, becomes minus 1 over 2. So here are our two answers. The answer is minus 3 or minus 1 over 2. But that's the process there. You have to be careful which one is your A, which one is your B, which one is your C, and you put it into this machine, you put everything in there. This is what comes out nice and clear, isn't it? All right, so let's proceed to problem number 2. We will do exactly the same thing, and we should be able to get the right answer. Okay, let's clear this now. We don't need all this because we're done with this one here. So we can put a little tick here and say, okay, this is done. Okay, so let's go to problem number 2. When you do lots and lots of practice with these things, you will just feel like, you can go at a high speed and it's pretty simple and there's no sweat involved. All right, number 2 says x squared minus 6x plus 5 is equal to 0. Oh, I cleared the quadratic formula. I'll write it back again here. Let me quote it here. It's x is equal to minus b plus or minus the root of b squared minus 4ac, all this under the square root sign, and all this divided by 2 multiplied by a. Okay, so that's our quadratic formula there. Right. We are going to write it exactly the same way we did the other one. So here, x is multiplied by 1, so I'll put a 1 there, 1 multiplying my x squared, minus there, my 6, I'm going to write it in green. 6 is multiplying our x, and then of course we have a blue 5 and the blue 5. Okay, there we are. There is a 5 written in blue, and of course all this is equal to 0. Okay, so let's plug in the numbers. What is our x? Using our quadratic formula, our x is equal to, what is b? b is 6. It is minus 6. So the formula says minus, so we write minus brackets, but our b is minus 6, so we write a minus 6 there. Plus or minus, you need to write it like this, otherwise you mess up the signs. b is minus 6, but the formula says we must attach a negative sign to the b. So it is already a minus 6, but we still have to attach the minus 6 down here. On this side here. So then it comes here and says b squared, which is minus 6 squared, minus 4 multiplied by, what is our a? Our a is 1. What is our c? Our c is 5. Okay, all this, of course, under the square root sign. And we can put this over under this 2a, which is 2 multiplied by our a, again, is 1. It might sound like, oh, why waste time putting a 1? It helps you not to mess up the formula, and remember to just follow every step of the way. So let's simplify things now. A minus 6 gives us a 6, a plus 6 here, plus or minus here, a minus 6 squared is just 36. Okay, then minus 4 times 1 is 4, times 5 is a minus 20. Okay, so there we are, and this over 2 times 1, which is just 2 there. We can further simplify this 2. This is equal to 6 plus or minus the square root of 36 minus 20 is 16. So this over 2, and we know that the square root of 16 is 4. So this becomes 6 plus or minus 4 divided by 2. Again, there are two answers. One answer is 6 plus 4 divided by 2. The other answer is 6 minus 4 divided by 2. You must always remember it comes with two answers each time. So 6 plus 4 is 10 divided by 2. So this one will give us a 5. This one here gives us a 5. Okay? What about here? 6 minus 2 is 2 divided by 2. This one gives us a 1. So there are two answers here, a 5 and a 1, that satisfy the quadratic equation x squared minus 6x plus 5 is equal to 1. Okay, our next problem, now we are warming up to the quadratic formula, aren't we? So let's see how quickly we can do number 3. So I'll just clear the board here. Of course, the way to learn mathematics is to do it yourself, to practice and practice and practice until you have confidence in whatever it is that you are doing, whether it's the quadratic formula or Pythagoras theorem or whatever. It's not enough to just go and memorize this formula. You have to go and use it over and over and over and over again until even if somebody wakes you up at midnight and ask you to copy, to quote it or whatever, you can just go click, but not only quote it, but be able to say, here is a quadratic equation, I'm going to use the quadratic formula. All right, so let's proceed. Our next problem there is, that's number 3, isn't it? Oh no, that's number, oh, we must have skipped this one, didn't we? We skipped this one, so we did this one. Sorry about that. We did this one, so we skipped this guy here. So let's go to number 2 instead. So number 2 says x squared minus 2x minus 8 is equal to 0. Again, we will write it the way we wrote all the other equations. Here, 1 is multiplying our x squared. Sorry, the x is supposed to be black. So here 1 is multiplying our x squared. Minus here, our 2 is supposed to be green. Our green x there is our green x. And of course, our blue 8. Sorry. Our blue 8, here it is. And then this is, of course, is equal to 0. Let's quickly plug in the numbers here. So we have x is equal to, our b is minus 2 again. So we have minus, in brackets here, minus 2. Remember to always do this because the signs can get easily messed up there. So plus or minus the square root of our b squared is minus 2 squared, which is minus 2 all squared, minus 4 multiplied by our a is 1, our c is minus 8. Okay? You see the importance of, copying the numbers exactly as they are written in the formula before you try to simplify anything. Don't try and do it in your head because you can mess up with these signs here. Okay, so there we are under the square root sign. Everything, of course, is divided by 2 times 1. 2 times a. A, of course, is 1, so we have just a 2 down here. Okay, now we can simplify. A minus 2 becomes just a 2, plus or minus square root. This was a minus there, I'm sorry. So minus 2 times minus 2 is still a 4. Minus there, 4 multiplied by 1, 4 multiplied by 1 is a 4. Minus 4 multiplied by 1 is minus 4. Minus 4 times minus 8 is now plus 32. Okay, all this under the square root sign, and this is divided by 2. We can simplify now. Did we do it right here? 4 times that is 32 plus 4, which is, of course, that gives us 2 plus or minus the root of 4 plus 32 is 36. And this is all over 2. So now the root of 36 is, of course, 6. So this gives us 2 plus or minus 6 divided by 2. Again, we have 2 answers. One answer is 2 plus 6 over 2. The other one is 2 minus 6 over 2. It's very important to quote them like this. So 2 plus 6 is 8, divided by 2 is, of course, 4. 8 divided by 2 is 4. So the first one here gives us 4. What about the second one? 2 minus 6 is minus 4. Minus 4 divided by 2 is minus 2. So this one gives us the answer minus 2. Okay, so there are 2 answers. Look, they always come in pairs for a quadratic equation. A quadratic equation is always supposed to have 2 answers. Okay? They may, of course, be equal. It could be 2 times or, 4 happening twice. In mathematics, they say it will be of multiplicity 2. Okay, our last example, I hope I didn't skip anybody here, but I think we are here now. This is question number 4. This is not 4x squared. This is question number 4 there. So that one is a little bit interesting, isn't it? Okay, so it says here x squared minus 9 is equal to 0. Okay, let's write it in the way we have been writing everybody else. So this is 1 multiply, oh sorry, it's supposed to be black here, multiplying our x squared. So x squared is multiplied by 1. Do we have a term in x? No. So what must we do? So it's like 0 is multiplying our x. So there is our x multiplied by 0. What about our constant? Of course, our constant is the blue 9. Our constant is 9. No problem there. And of course, all this is equal to 0. Let's plug in the numbers. Okay, so here we go. Our x is equal to minus b, which is minus bracket b is 0, plus or minus the square root of, oh sorry, our 9 is negative here, sorry, it's negative, we almost got it wrong. So okay, there we are, a negative 9. So okay, we are here now. B squared, what is b? It's 0 squared minus 4 multiplied by a is 1 and c of course is minus 9. All this over the square root sign, under the square root sign, and here we have a 2 multiplying 1 because a is 1, so this is over 2. Let's simplify. Minus 0 is just nothing, so we just have plus or minus the square root of 0 times 0 is 0, so minus 4 bracket times 1 times minus 9, all this over 2. Remember, all this, there's nothing. So under the square root sign, of course. So inside the square root sign, we have minus 4 times 1, which is minus 4. Minus 4 times minus 9 is 36, plus 36. So this is equal to plus root of 36 divided by 2, plus or minus the root of 36, sorry. So that gives us root of 36, of course, is just 6. So this is equal to plus or minus 6 over 2, which is equal to plus or minus 3. So one root is 3, the other one is minus 3. If one had factorized this, this would factorize to, we know that x squared minus 9 is equal to bracket x minus 3 bracket x plus 3 is equal to 0. And once you get here, you know your x is either 3 or minus 3. In our next video, we're going to be dealing, of course, with the method of factorization. But as far as the quadratic formula is concerned, this is how you utilize it. We are thankful for your presence, and if you like to make any comments, you are free to make some constructive comments, because that's how the channel grows. Till we see you next time, bye-bye.